she was offered a show on American Hearts Radio. It's called Comics on Parole, which he's been doing for 3 years. A very successful man. So I would like to introduce you to Daniel. I just forgot your last name. This is Daniel, y'all. And when I get off the stage, I'm going to remember his name, and he's going to call me Mud for the rest of his life. Tell me.
You're Mud. Was that what you said? Okay, anyway, thank you very much. Give it up for Too Cute for throwing this shindig. Does everyone know Too Cute? Do you all know Too Cute? And she said, Dan, you know, I've seen you perform before, and I want to give you a little advice. You talk too quickly between jokes. You don't give people time to understand them and laugh. So what I'd like to do is take a glass of water up here with you, and every time you tell a joke and hear a laugh, I want you to take a drink to slow down, but don't take a drink until you hear a laugh. I said, Too Cute, if I have to wait to hear a laugh, I'm going to end up dying of thirst. Hey, did you hear on the news recently, this is a true story, a mother drove through Checkers restaurants with her children to get them hamburgers and fries. When she got the bag of hamburgers and fries, she saw on the bottom of them there were 5-6 little bags of marijuana in it. It was on the news, 5 little tiny bags of marijuana. I don't know about you, but that is one awesome Happy Meal. And then did you hear Hillary Clinton? Hillary Clinton gets $200,000 for speaking engagement. $200,000. Can you imagine what she charges Bill for sex? I can see her going to Bill and say, hey Bill, I'm a little short of cash. You want to have sex? And then recently, Mitt Romney kind of entered his opinion into the fray. And I remember when Mitt Romney ran for president, it came out he was a Mormon. I had never heard of Mormons before, so I heard of them, I just never knew much about them. So I researched them. And you know, Mormon men can have several wives. Some can have up to 5. I'm Jewish. I couldn't imagine having 5 Jewish wives. If I've had 5 Jewish wives, that means I have 5 Jewish wives that say, not tonight, I got a headache. If I had 5 Jewish wives, I mean I have 5 Jewish wives, the only thing they make for dinner is reservations. And what's that old joke, why did the Jewish guy die before his 5 Jewish wives? Because he wanted to. And then did you hear recently, this last year, they've been talking about putting a famous woman's face, American woman's face on the $20 bill. A famous American woman like Eleanor Roosevelt or Harriet Tubman. And Harriet Tubman wanted it. She's going to have her give it up for Harriet Tubman. But during this whole year of them debating which woman's face would get on the $20 bill, all I could think is, if they put a woman's face on the $20 bill, that $20 bill is going to be nagging me to spend it. And then, oh, hey, is it a bad sign that my wife posted my picture on Match.com? Of mine, 58 years old, quite attractive. She just joined Match.com. And the first picture she gets of a guy, true story, first picture she gets is of a guy totally naked with his ding-dong sticking straight out. She called me up, she goes, Dan, I can't believe I got this picture of this guy totally naked with his ding-dong sticking straight out. I said, well, at least he got right to the point. And not only that, if you date someone like that, they'll be able to hold 2 cups of coffee and 3 donuts at the same time. So I went to Japan a couple weeks ago for business, and I thought I would call on one of these geisha massage parlors. So I went into the place, and the geisha girl, the first thing she said to me is, sir, I'm concerned about your erection. I go, you're concerned about my erection? He goes, yes, sir, I'm concerned about the U.S. erection. I'm worried who they're going to elect for president of the U.S. erection. Anyway, any married couples? Oh, wait, this is a dating thing, isn't it? Anyone married? Divorced? You're not. Al, you're married. This is Al. How many years have you been happily married? You don't have to answer. How many years do you think you've been happily married? I've been happily married 30 years. My wife's been happily married 15. And the sex is great as long as it's consensual. She says, I love it when you make love to me while I'm sleeping. I said, oh, that's nice. Why do you say that? She goes, well, at least I can dream I'm having good sex. I jumped into the bed the other day, pulled the covers over my head, and she said, you remind me of a pig in a blanket. I said, so eat me. She said, when I look at you, I think of that Nicolas Cage movie, Gone in 60 Seconds. I said, why? She goes, because when you have sex, you're done in 60 seconds. The other day, we made love. The other night we made love. The next morning, we woke up. She said, Dan, I just want you to know, last night I was not pretending. I was not faking it. I said, really? She goes, no, I really did fall asleep. Then she tried to run off with an Uber driver, but she changed her mind because when she called him, he came too quickly. So anyway. So, I'm too old to be up here. Oh, let me tell you one other thing. You soon to get married. The biggest thing that helps a marriage is don't snore. The problem with my wife is my marriage is I snore, she snores, but when I snore, it just wakes her up. When she snores, it wakes both of us up. I'll hear, I'll go, where's my gun? Where's my gun? So the other night I'm sleeping with her, she's snoring incessantly. And I inadvertently grabbed her boobie. And she stopped snoring. I said, oh, I gotta patent this. So the next day I'm sitting in Starbucks next to this woman who's reading her in one of the more comfortable chairs. She's reading her iPad and she falls asleep and she starts snoring. And I looked at her boobie and I said to myself, do I squeeze it or do I not? So I squeezed it. It didn't go well. It's not what you think though. She's stalking me now. She's 85 years old. She wants me to squeeze the other boob. So anyway, I'm too old to be up here doing this. Just getting out of the car to come in here felt like it took 2-3 minutes. It was a real struggle. Of course, it would have helped if I remembered to unbuckle the seatbelt, but hey, that's a good thing about Alzheimer's. You meet new people every day. And it's not getting older that bothers me. It's not the fact I'm getting gray hair, I can't hold my liquor or my pee-pee, and I gotta wear Depends. What bothers me is the time I've wasted. There's an old saying, it's too bad youth has to be wasted on the young. In other words, if I knew then what I know now, I'd want to start over. And I do want to start over. But I don't want to start over as a baby. I want to start over as a spermazoa. See, I remember life before I was born. I remember going to a party with my father and leaving with my mother. And when I was a young spermazoid, I wasn't very popular. All the other spermazoids used to swim around me saying, Dan, he's missing a chromosome. Dan, he's missing a chromosome. And I didn't have any friends. And when I was supposed to meet a friend, they would never show up on time. And when they finally showed up, I would say, hey, Jack, you late? And I wasn't very good with the spermazoid girls, but there was one I liked. I was quite fond of her. Her name was Mary. I swam over to Mary one day. I said, hey, Mary, I hear the weather's nice outside. You want to come? Anyway, so I had this online comedy show called Comics on Parole. Just go to comicsonparole.com. You'll see all the show. It's all the local comics. We've had 2Q to Leah, all the gang, Martha. We've had people from Nick at Night, Conan O'Brien, Married with Children. And the reason we call it Comics on Parole is because I went into comedy because it was part of my parole agreement. See, the parole officer said you have a choice of 1 or 2 parole agreements. You can do sweep sidewalks or do stand-up comedy. And I decided to do stand-up comedy. And it's not going well. I bombed so much the FBI put me on a terrorist watch list. I bombed so much the U.S. Air Force left a message on my answer machine. Hey, we'd like to recruit you. We hear you're good at bombing. But since I've started this Comics on Parole thing, I've become very popular. I got invited to perform at a parachutist convention the other day, and the guy said, well, the only thing is you'll have to tell your jokes while you're parachuting. But don't worry, there's no strings attached. But another thing thing I like to do, I love to wear a bright red shirt and walk around Target and misdirect customers. I was walking around Target yesterday with my bright red shirt, and a lady came up to me and said, "Sir, can you tell me where the bedding department is?" I said, "Yes, it's in the right-hand corner of the store. They're lingerie and vibrators. In fact, there's a vibrator demonstration unit you could try if you like." Then a gentleman came up to me and said, "Sir, can you tell me where shaving cream is?" I said, "Yes, it's in the right-hand corner store with lingerie and vibrators. In fact, if you hurry, there's a lady giving a demonstration right now." Another thing I like to do, I love to help give young adults valuable advice. I was sitting in Starbucks the other day. Next to this young guy, he had an iPhone, an iPad, and a laptop. He said to me, "Sir, would you watch my stuff while I go to the restroom?" I said, "I'd be happy to." Once he was in the restroom, I picked up my new iPhone, my new iPad, and my new laptop, and I put it in my briefcase. And I left him a note. The note said, son, when you get back, if your stuff is missing and I'm missing, apparently you asked the wrong person to watch your stuff. And this should teach you a very, very valuable lesson. Ma'am, can I see your purse there just for 1 second? No. Please, you're ruining the joke. Give me the purse. The purse. Just 1 second, the purse. I promise I'll give it back. Please. I'm going to have to take it. Someone hand me something very important. Oh, I know. Here, this purse right here. Can I hold your purse just for a second? I'll give it right back. You're ruining the joke. Oh, thank you, man. No. Isn't it amazing what people hand you when you have a microphone in your hand? It's like you're gone. Now, young lady, hand me your bra. I said, hand me your bra. See, if I was a robber, I wouldn't use a gun. I'd use a Mr. Microphone. I'd come upon someone and say, "Halt! Hand me your wallet and nobody gets hurt. Now show me your boobies." "Thank you, sir." And you know, it's getting hard to get a job. In order to get a job, you have to have experience. But how do you get experience if you don't have a job? So I'm thinking about robbing banks for a living. But my luck, I'll go into the bank, I'll slide a note to the teller that says, "This is a sticker." The teller read the note and look at me and say, "Sir, do you have a resume? Have you ever robbed a bank before? Do you have any experience? We just don't have our money to anybody. Now you run along and rob a few more banks, maybe a few teller machines or two, and then come back, we'll see what we can do for you. And sir, next time you rob a bank, please don't use a Mr. Microphone. And no, I won't show you my boobies. Well, maybe once. No." So anyway, I'll finish up with this. Have you guys seen these hookah shops running all over Atlanta? Hookah shops opening up all over Atlanta. I never heard of a hookah before, but I understand it's like a Turkish pipe that kids sit around smoking. So I went to a restaurant the other day and a waitress said, "Would you like a hookah?" I said, "No, I picked my hookahs up in downtown